Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thank you to my returning subscribers. I do really appreciate you. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then please do consider it. So, today's reading. I'm picking up an energy today of, it's almost like a feeling of feeling down, a bit despondent. So where there's a need for action, but there doesn't seem to be any avenues of action. It's more sort of a bit like Groundhog Day, you know, the same thing, same stuff every day, and nothing really seems to be moving or changing. However, there is an energy within your intuition that kind of is bringing about a feeling like there is something about to change. So let's get into this and see what this is all about. So first of all, just take a few deep breaths. Just what is on your mind right now. If what I've just said there does resonate with your story right now, then this is the right place for you. If it doesn't quite, just stick around anyway, because there might be something within this. Please only take what resonates as well. Yeah, T was. So there's something here about accessing and acknowledging your higher self. Oh, okay. I didn't realise I'd got two out there. We have T was and Sir Willow. So there's an intention that you've set coming from your higher self. And this intention, I feel, you have maybe been guided by somebody, maybe it could have been a while ago or some time ago, that's kind of told you that's not the way forward, that's not the way to go, this is not the path for you. So you've kind of sat with that and you've tried to forget it, you've tried to just continue with your life, and then you've gone and set yourself an intention for something that you really want. And you've been through quite a healing journey with that. And when I say a healing journey, what I mean is that you've sat with yourself, you've really asked yourself some questions of like, what do I need right now? Who am I? What do I want in my life? And from that, you keep coming back round to this idea that you were told to, that it wasn't your path, okay? So you're starting to question now the information that you've been given. You're starting to question the source of that information as to like, maybe I have reached a level now where I don't need to take your advice. Maybe you're stuck in a space where I've kind of surpassed you as my teacher, if you like. And maybe what you're teaching me now actually doesn't resonate with me. Now, sometimes we can go through a point where we don't want to rock the boat with somebody that we see as having an authority over us or being knowledgeable. But at the same time, you can get to a point where you're like, but I feel like I know better for myself. You know, you've started to really know yourself a lot better and understand what your needs are and how you want things to be. So I'm getting sort of like an energy of like a pain as well around here. So I don't know if somebody's getting some pain. It could be around like the ribs or around the hip area. Just feel like it could be around the left side. It might even be around the back here. So there's an element of almost like a fear of emotion being seen in a way. It's like a fear of being vulnerable or allowing emotion to show in this situation. Maybe you've been taught in the past, like you don't ever show your emotion, it's weakness. But you've kind of reached a point now in your life where you're like, well, actually, I feel like me not expressing how I feel is actually holding me back from this path forward. And that's exactly what we're getting here with Rado. Rado is suggesting about, you know, really honouring yourself and taking responsibility that you know your way forward, okay? This is your journey. You are solely responsible for the destination you reach through what you do on that journey, okay? Only you. You can't blame anybody else for the journey that you're on right now, because it's all based around your own experiences and choices, things that you've done, okay? Now, you could all be screaming at me like, but I didn't ask for this and I didn't ask for that. But you stayed on a path that led you to that, okay? So yes, there's circumstances that can happen on those paths that are beyond our control, but it's what you do with them and how you do it. Thank you. I've just been brought a coffee. Thank you very much. I love you. Look at that. See, you just manifest things, you think about something and it just turns up, it just arrives. So that might be a sign for you that it's almost like, you know, when you start really acknowledging these things and talking openly about it, whether that's going to offend somebody or upset somebody anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? You know, it does not matter, because at the end of the day, you have the ability to manifest what you want in your life. You have the ability to go in any direction that you want, you know, and only you get to decide that. Don't make excuses for why you can't based around somebody else or something else or some other influence or circumstance. Okay, if you really want to do it, you will. It's a bit like that where they say, you know, a person not getting back to you or saying they're too busy to see you. You know, if you really, really wanted to see somebody, you would make it happen. Okay, you would have no excuse whatsoever. So it's alerting you to, it's sort of like, okay, so why do I keep avoiding that? What is it about that why do I keep avoiding it? Maybe deep down you don't really want it. Or maybe it's because it expects a certain part of you. It expects a certain element of you that you're not ready to express. So think about that one. So I feel like I ranted a little bit there for about 6 minutes. So now I'm going to get into the cards and see what they're telling us about this current situation that you've got going on here. Mice, discord amongst friends or family. So you are separating yourself from the people around you, not intentionally, but just through being authentic. You know, you're just being yourself, but you're starting to notice that you're perhaps on a different vibration to some people in your life at this time. And that might be difficult for them, it might be difficult for you, but at the end of the day, it's the truth, you know, it's truthfully how you feel. Have cracked cup, dissatisfaction with life. So I feel right now you aren't truly happy with where you're at, and you've started to realise that, and maybe this is why you're starting to realise, actually maybe I'm doing things to keep other people happy, or to keep a version of myself alive for somebody else but not for me. And wedge, someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something that you want. I'm picking up this energy, and I did before when I was sort of saying about someone's guided you in a particular direction, or someone's said something to you that's made you step away from a particular person or situation in your life. This is probably very specific to maybe a couple of people here in this collective. Now, this person that you maybe looked up to give you advice on your direction and what to do in your life, their intention there, their reasons was to keep you, because they knew if you went down that direction, it would probably mean that you wouldn't be around them. So this is you, I feel, recognising, actually, you don't want to admit this, but perhaps this person didn't have my best interests at heart. Maybe they were moving out of their own interests, not so much mine. And it's a difficult pill to swallow. It's a difficult realisation to have. However, I feel like you have had that realisation. So if that resonates with you, please drop an emoji or something down in the comments. Let me know, or do get in touch. We can discuss it further as well. Let's see what else we have coming out here. So you do have problems to be resolved in this way. I feel like you've kind of stepped away from something that was very important to you because of this person. And now you're starting to realise, actually, I've lost some time here. That's held me back. It kind of makes me think about a reading I did last night, which was about an opportunity and almost missing the opportunity. And dogs, getting together with friends. So I do feel this could be, it's like a situation where perhaps this is a friend of yours that you've been guided like, oh, they're no good for you, or they're telling you lies, or they're not being quite right, or you've been told something about, I feel, a person that's particularly important to you in your life. And this has created some problems for you because you can't seem to forget about this person, or it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit right to not have this person around you or in your life. So dogs, getting together with friends, I can see you maybe going against this wise counsel that you've potentially had, because you're realising actually maybe it wasn't so wise after all, and maybe getting together with this friend now. So I feel you perhaps taking matters into your own hands, taking responsibility and taking the movement that feels right for you. Okay, so let's see what else we have on this situation. Now I'm saying friend, I mean, for some of you it could be, you know, someone that you really want to be with. It could be like a love connection, but for some of you it is more of about friendship. Finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. So yeah, you kind of realizing actually maybe this other person is leading you down a path that you don't really want to go down. It's almost like you're picking up on vibration, and it's almost like you're starting to realize what makes me feel like a lower vibration, what makes me feel like a higher vibration. And that's not being cocky or saying anybody's better than anybody else. It's just energy, and you're starting to feel, I feel lighter over here and I feel heavier over here. However, I've been told that this is wrong for me and this is right for me. But you're starting now to realise, actually, maybe this isn't good. Axe, forces working against you. So there is definitely, things aren't going well for you, I feel, at the moment because of this, what you've kind of pushed out of your life because you were told that that would be better for you. You've actually started to realise, actually, that's causing me a lot of angst. It feels like I'm working against the grain. It doesn't feel right, you know? It's like brushing an animal up the wrong way, isn't it? It just doesn't feel right. It should be going that way. And you feel like you've been told it's better this way, actually. It's better this way. And you're like, that don't feel right. So do what's right for you. Do what feels right for you. Oh. Handshake. A meeting with a stranger could be important. So this could be another person that maybe knows of your situation or knows the person that you have kind of detached from. And this could be a meeting with this person, maybe just to get a different perspective on things, is what I'm seeing for some of you. Or you may just bump into somebody that knows this person and you might ask them about them, or just they crop up in conversation. And this person might be like, oh yeah, they're wonderful. Like they really helped me, or they've been really lovely, or I mean this, that and the other. Whereas when you've met up with somebody about the other person, they may have said things like, oh yeah, they were nasty to me, or they weren't very good. So you get to discern then based around, you know, what you're getting from other people, what information you're hearing. Maybe this has already happened. Maybe you've already met with somebody that knows of this person and they're like, can't say anything nicer about them. And that's making you question, like, well, I've been told this. You know, something doesn't feel right with you. Something feels like you've been given some false information here, and you're starting to realise that. You're recognising. I'm going to put that back on there. I just saw angel on there. So it could be that kind of energy where it's like the devil and the angel. Something's trying to stop you from your happiness, stop you from being fully in your power. Broken ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. So for some of you, this could have been somebody that you worked with, or in like a work kind of environment that you met them. And you were told, you know, they're not a good person, they're not good, or they're like this, or they're like that, or they're going to hurt you. You may have had a romantic encounter with them. You may have maybe had a relationship with them, or gone out with them a couple of times or something. And maybe through circumstances, because of what you've been told, you've maybe made a bit of a assumption about this person. So you've kind of had to break apart, move them out of your life. And it says mule, someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. Now, sometimes through pride, we don't want to admit that we're wrong, do we? Or we don't want to admit that we have made a wrong decision. And I feel like your friend here, the person that's kind of guided you away from the other person, they're too stubborn to admit that they were wrong, even though they know that they were. You know, they made an assumption, or they made a judgment based on zero fact. And they've guided you in your life, and they know they have. And I feel like they feel an element of bad about that, but they're not willing to admit that they were wrong. They're not going to come forward and sort of say like, I'm really sorry, you know, I completely drove a wedge there, but they're not willing to apologise for that. Okay. What else do we have? This feels like a very specific message today. Needle and thread, a sincere wish will be granted. Now, have you ever tried to feed a thread through the eye of a needle? Oh my life. It can be so annoying unless you've got one of those fancy little thingy bobs to do it with. Okay, so it kind of can feel like trying to put the thread through the eye of a needle in your way forward here. Almost like this is never going to work, this is never going to happen. It's feeling really difficult. But this is suggesting that actually if you keep trying, you know, keep working on this, this wish is going to be granted. And if this wish is to have this person back in your life, if this wish is to have things as they used to be or as they were before, then your wish will be granted. Okay, it's going to be okay. It will be okay. Hammock, taking a vacation physically or mentally. So perhaps you will be going on some kind of trip with this person, you know, to make amends. Or maybe there's a trip coming, if you work together or something, maybe there's a trip coming up through work that you're going to be on together, that's going to help you to repair the bond, you know, repair that situation. It gives you a chance to kind of ask the questions and stuff. But also it's allowing yourself, because you've been very much in your mind about this. It's like you've been kind of going over conversations, really trying to think about things, because it just doesn't feel right what you've been told from what you've actually seen. It's almost like the actual reality doesn't match up with the words that you've heard. You know, there's no alignment with that, and that's kind of caught you in your head quite a bit. Whereas now you're starting to realise, actually, you know, their actions and words do align, whereas your other friend, like, maybe yours don't align, and maybe I've been taking your counsel when actually I probably should have been taking theirs. So this is about you kind of like having a rest now from listening to other people and starting to discern for yourself what is right for you. And this may cause you to just want to have a little bit of a break, you know, just take yourself away on a trip, maybe even on your own. But for some of you, it's a trip that you'll be going on with this person. Mountain, major challenge to overcome. So there may be some things that you need to overcome with this, okay? Now, this may be because if there's been hurt there, or there's been harsh words said, or because you thought you were doing the right thing because of the information that you got, there may be a need for quite a deep conversation I'm getting from this. And it's going to feel like a major challenge. I do see two people walking up a mountain, like going on some kind of walk together. And as you're walking, you're unpicking this. You're kind of talking it through, moving through it, like talking about, you know, why they thought this or why you thought that, and trying to just unpack it and unpick it. It's important though here to try and avoid pretending you didn't know, okay? So I think they call that gaslighting, don't they? It's sort of like, just be very open and honest. If you're sort of like, you know, I was told this about you, that's why I backed away. Be open about that. Where did that come from? And then, you know, owning it as to sort of like, you know, and then I decided to step back because I felt like what they told me aligned with how you were behaving. And that's why I stepped away. That's a definite, specific thing that I'm feeling from this, okay? But it's worth, to help you to get over that major challenge, it's worth having that conversation, worth allowing that out. I'm going to get one more card from here and then we're going to get into the tarot, because this is quite a long reading actually. I was not expecting this today. I was not expecting this. I'm glad I got brought a coffee. Okay, so we've got opportunity or windfall. So in other news in your life, whatever you've been working towards, you are going to achieve something very healthy, very wealthy, okay? There is an opportunity that's coming your way that's going to help you to feel like all things are good. And I do feel it aligns with this patching up of this situation. It's almost like when this is aligning, it's almost going to open a door of opportunity in everything else. So where was it? That one that we said, not problems to be resolved, dissatisfaction with life, the cracked cup, you know? You're feeling this dissatisfaction because you're not aligned with where you're supposed to be or who you're supposed to be around at this time. And you're starting to realise that and recognise that, okay? So that's why when you sort this situation out, it's going to open this door of opportunity. And I do feel for some of you, it could be a financial gain that comes in around that. So let's get the tarot cards then. What is going to happen here? So the current situation with you and this person. Okay. There's an element of, I feel like you're kicking yourself because you feel a little bit naive in love sometimes. And I feel like the other person that's been advising you or giving you wise counsel, you looked up to. You thought they had your best interests at heart. For some of you, I feel like you think this person loved you. And perhaps they did in a certain way. But they also wanted to manipulate you and control you. They wanted you for themselves. And they wanted to turn you away from what they knew would have probably been better for you or more aligned with who you are. And I feel you are really looking at yourself and wondering, like, why did I allow that to happen? Why did I allow myself to be led down this? And it may be triggering some childhood wounding here as well, of sort of like feeling manipulated. What else do we have? This current situation. Okay. Yeah, you've had a realization. I feel like the person that you had the wise counsel from, you saw them as this, whether they're male or female, you saw them as this like Queen of Pentacles. You saw them as a protector and a nurturer, and that they could be, in a way, responsible, more responsible than the other person, I feel. But now you've kind of seen that actually that was an illusion. It's almost like you're seeing it the other way around now. It's almost like the person that was advising you was trying to be like the other person to pull you away. It's very specific, this is. Very, very specific. And you almost felt like you had no choice. It's almost like you felt like you had no choice but to go with this person because of what they were bringing forward for you. Like, I can look after you, I can support you, I can nurture you. They can't, but I can. Look at me, I've got this and this and this, and I can do this for you. Okay. Let's see what the challenge is, what the challenge has been here for you, because of how you're really feeling about this. You've really found things a bit of a juggle because you've been so torn in your mind about this. Yeah. The challenge here is because this felt like a wish fulfillment, you know. This other person felt like they ticked every box. They were what you'd wished for, what you'd hoped for, what you'd been looking for. And even though you weren't around them anymore, there was still this kind of thread, almost like you were telepathically communicating with this person. Almost like you knew how they were feeling, what they were thinking, knew what they were doing almost. And you were like daydreaming maybe about this person whilst you were over here with your other friend. Yeah. But with their advice, you were like, yeah, this is an illusion though, because they're actually not what they're painting themselves out to be, because that's what they told you. So this is the challenge here. But something has recently been awakened within you or been revealed to you. It's almost like the illusion's been broken about the other person. You know, people can only keep up a facade for so long, okay? And a facade is kind of like, you know, a mask that we put on to portray something. Now, when we hit a real challenge or something real that happens, for many, that facade kind of, it comes off, it comes away. And that's what you felt was happening with the person that you felt aligned with, is you felt like they were in a facade because you were told that by the other person. Yeah. Let's see what you need to focus on right now, because we're talking a lot about past situation. Let's see what we need to do in the present. What do you need to focus on? Okay, we've got Seven of Cups in the upright position now. What you need to focus on is recognizing what is illusion and what is truth. And understanding, you know, you do have a choice and you are responsible for your choices. You still have opportunity here, okay? You still have an opportunity to put things right, to do the right thing for you, for what feels right for you. There's something about allowing the truth to come out. You know, just be really honest and truthful about what's happened here. because it feels like the other person, they kind of have an element of honesty about them that they will understand. They will have an understanding, and that's going to create balance in that connection again. Bear with me a second. Come on then. Shut my door, thank you. There's a lot of distraction, and that's what you might be finding here, is that you start to worry or think about this, not worry, you think about this, you wonder about this, and you want to make changes to it, but then you get distracted. There's something that distracts you from it that you have to go and do, or somebody breaks you out of your thoughts within it, okay? And then it gets put on the back burner again. And then you start to feel this sort of like, you know, I'm tired. I'm just tired of this, okay? But then it doesn't go away. So let's see what we have for you. What do you need to leave behind here? What's going to help you in leaving behind? I feel like there's a concern over an amount of gossip, or perhaps you've said things about this person that you didn't really mean at the time, but you got led into a gossip situation, and that's made you feel a little bit perhaps bad about that. But what you need to leave behind here is, you know, feeling like you're holding on to something for sentimental value, and allowing yourself a transition and a transformation. You know, you've taken some time to really look at yourself and think, okay, I'm allowing other people to choose for me. Now is a time to shed that skin, and the new beginning is about you stepping forward and taking responsibility yourself and honouring your transformation, the way that you want things to be. Okay, let me see what we have for your advice. What advice do we have for you right now? This is going to be a really long reading. What's your advice? Okay, so we've got on here, yeah, the Eight of Cups. Go back to it. Go back to this person. You know, you walked away, but there's still that light there. There's still, I feel like this person feels exactly the same as you, okay? And when you go back, it's about you bringing that truth, that clarity. You know, talk about things in a logical way. This is how things happened. This is how things went. Just be really brutally honest and truthful about it, okay? And if somebody has your back, if somebody honours you or respects you, they will hear you out. Whatever's happened, they will hear you out. You know, it's like those kind of friendships you have where you might not have spoken for years, but you're still friends, you know? You can have an argument, but you can work through it. Those kind of connections in life, they are so rare and so important. So this is a point where it's like, just bring the truth, bring the honesty, allow yourself to be fully you, you know, show all of your shadows. And if a person that you show all of your shadows to is still there after you've done that, then they are a person that you want in your life. We have on the bottom there the Two of Cups. So I do feel that in this truth, this honesty coming out, just telling this person why you stepped away, why this happened, just be completely honest about it. It can bring a union together. I can see for some of you, this is more than just a friendship. It's actually wanting to be more than that. And this is about you kind of bringing that energy back together, which is beautiful. But it does need this element of truth and honesty to come through. You know, we all make mistakes. We can all be guided by what we think and feel. And sometimes that comes from where we've been hurt in the past and we don't want to go through that again, you know. Someone's telling you like, oh, do you remember when this happened? Well, this is going to be exactly the same with this person. I can see it. Can you not see it? And you fell for it. Only to realise that actually that was the person that was trying to hold you hostage, was trying to hold you in a space that you actually didn't feel like you wanted to be in or needed to be in, you know. You felt trapped there. But now I feel like you're kind of releasing yourself from that and starting to think more and more about this opportunity that perhaps you wonder if it's still there, if it's still available. So let's see what your hopes and fears are. Now, if this sounds like it's the other person that stepped away from you, what you're hearing here is about their journey in coming back to you. Okay, they're having a realization to come back, but for a majority of you, this is about your journey in bringing someone else back into your life. But there's some of you that this is about the person that you're thinking about that is having this realization. You know, they're the ones that had this wise counsel, or apparent wise counsel, and are starting to realize, actually, I am my own wise counsel, nobody else. And for some of you, it's about you that's had this epiphany about, I am my own wise counsel. Okay. You've put a lot of work into this. You've really been working hard on gathering the facts, basically, understanding. I do feel for some of you, you've either been watched on social media in some way, or you are watching somebody on social media just to get an idea of like, well, actually, what are they doing? And is it legit? Are they a legit person? Are they actually real or not real? Because you've been told that they're not real. Okay. What are your hopes and fears around this? Okay. So the Two of Wands, the Magician in reverse. So the fear here is about manipulation. The fear is about, it's still got that seed of doubt, hasn't it? Because of what this person's told you about them. What you've been told has left a seed of doubt in there. And because of that, there's a concern about being manipulated, but also this can be about the opportunity being missed. So it's almost like you're feeling like, well, am I too late? Am I too late now to obtain this? Because it's taken me so long to come around to this idea. It's taken me so long to realise. But the Two of Wands is kind of suggesting, well, actually, maybe, like you've started to see a future here. You've started to be able to see that. If it's meant for you, the opportunity will still be there, won't it? So it's worth going into. It's worth finding out, at least, because then you can rest, can't you? You know, if you go back to this person, if it was to do with a relationship or something, if they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm with somebody else now, at least you found out. You know, you could still have that walk and talk with them. You can still give that clarity. You can still do that. Or you might find that they've been waiting for you to come back. You know, they might have been waiting for this opportunity. Maybe they felt the same as you. Let's see what your outcome is, shall we? I think I'll round this off with what your outcome is here. Definitely worth taking the gamble. There is a risk to be taken that is a real change, but it actually is like an up level. It's going to really raise your vibration more than you are expecting right now. And you've started to realise about vibration and what makes you feel good. There's a real change coming, okay? The wheel is turning in your favour, and it's about time that you step into that higher vibration now. And achieve this in your life, okay? It's all there for you. It's all ready for you. I feel by the 10th of July, you are going to be, you'll have resolved this, okay? It will be resolved by the 10th of July. Just make sure that you take that opportunity, because you've had this realisation. So hopefully this video just clarifies that for you. And if you would like to look into this deeper before you go ahead on this journey, then please do get in touch, because we can do a personalised reading. Or if you just got a couple of questions you want to ask, I can answer those for £10 a question. And I normally get back to you within like 2 to 4 hours. I've always got my runes and my tarot cards with me anywhere that I go. So, and I've always got my phone with my emails. So if this resonates with you, please do let me know. Drop me a comment and like the video if you possibly can, and I wish you all the best. Blessed be.